How have you seen the role of PSA plants develop?
Thank you for the question. It's a very interesting question. Yeah, as you mentioned, the situation in Europe is a quite specific one, because the supply chain is rather structured. So if we speak about COVID itself, the PSA, of course, has very evident limitations. Then once again, the question is, yes, but what about those countries where there is nothing else available? Basically, the gas industry has been using PSAs for different applications, but so far we never considered using PSAs in the medical sector for a variety of reasons. We do own and operate PSAs, but we stick to the industrial sector because that's really where they work at their best.
I'd like to open this up to the panel now if they have anything else to add on the role of PSA plants. Fabio, perhaps.
Well, naturally, as has been said during this meeting, the role of PSA is extremely important in some particular conditions, let me say. I'm not talking about the solution for domestic oxygen generation, because in that case the situation is completely different. But talking about the main infrastructures like hospital, naturally depends by the country. As Mr. Ferrari has said, naturally in Europe, where the distribution organization is extremely different, the capability of a PSA system could be, let me say, much more important about with the usage of cryogenic gases. Naturally, it is completely different the situation in far countries. For example, when we talk about some particular countries where there is pure road systems, for example, the distance between the gas supplier, the gas producer, sorry, and the hospital is very, very far. In that case, the PSA system could be not exactly the only solution, but probably the most efficient solution, because in that case, you don't need to have a difficult transport that you have to organize from the production directly to the hospital. Naturally, dimensioning a PSA system, it is a little bit difficult in case of happens like COVID-19, for example, because a plant that has been configured for a capacity that must be double or more for the pandemic, naturally in that case goes in crisis, and I think in that case there is something that we have to do. So that means that PSA, in my opinion, for some countries is a very good solution for far places, let me say, but it's not the best solution naturally for fixed plants like large hospitals and so
on. For that, and Gareth, finally, anything for you to add there?
Yeah, a few comments on PSAs. I think, as both my colleagues have rightly pointed out, in some situations, a PSA is absolutely the right choice to go forward with. However, I think there's a lot of improvements necessary on PSAs into this field as well, in particular the post-analysis of the gas. On the regulatory side, what is quite well described and well understood is how to batch and lot certify cryogenics, and how we work with that system is very clear. In a PSA system, I think there's still some gaps in the regulatory compliance pieces around that, and how you actually qualify adequately the oxygen coming out of the PSA. And I think what was also alluded to there by Fabio is that there was a number of times during the pandemic PSA was reached to as a solution, probably wasn't actually the right solution for that particular scenario. And I think there we do need to learn from that, as there was clearly a lot of times where there was some wastage of expenditure, should we say, in those systems that could have been put to better use in an alternative scenario. But PSA, I think, as a technology, extremely interesting. Yes, we work on it in a very low scale, but in the right scenario, PSA can be a fabulous addition to the medical gases supply chain system, and particularly those in remote locations as a forerunner technology. Absolutely, I think we've got some space for development.